I've been thinking a lot lately about hope. It's an interesting concept. It's an interesting word because it's so overused that it starts to become meaningless. An empty, fluffy hallmark kind of a word. But that's not what it is. Not really. Real hope is a violent act. It's an act of rebellion. Because it's so often contradicted by the facts. There's so many seemingly good reasons to give it up. And so often it seems like the world would like nothing more than to see it crushed out of us. But as illogical as it seems, sometimes hope really is the most important thing. Without it, every part of you begins to wither, and it doesn't matter what else you think you have going for you. Without hope, you are nothing. So let's talk about hope for a second. Enter our tragic hero, our failed protagonist. Fade in on a dimly lit coffee shop booth and see him there. See him curled around the stories that he tells himself about who he is, like a drowning man clinging to driftwood. Staring out the window, his eyes vacant, the way he has 1,000 times before and 1,000 times before that. But on this particular day, he's making peace. He's making peace with the fact that he is no longer young, in order to barter from himself a few scattered sparks that he'd put up on the shelf, saving them for one more round, for one more rhyme, until a faint and faded light sparks to life behind his glassy eyes, and a dried and mummified heart inside him begins to beat in time with some unseen chorus line, and a weak and bloodied hand rises up to write one last line, hoping to make it count this time. Now he's shadow dancing on the sidewalk while his face remains impassive, but he explodes inside because he's bored of all his boredom and that cool and calm disinterest that he should despise. He tells himself whatever lies it takes to reignite that engine and open up his eyes to the crooked carnival of chaos that is his life. And it's a nightmare fair attraction full of unfair competitions and unsafe rides. But each hard-won bent brass token buys just 5 more tries to run screaming through the side streets, gnashing on his crooked dentures, shouting that he's still alive, and searching for just a few more first impressions now before he dies. And he's become a wild, muddied madman, rolling in his selfish obsession, all beset by flies. But standing there beside him, you slowly start to realize that he is wise to go on bashing all his brains against the sidewalk, screaming up against the raindrops, content with what that buys. Nothing more than a trite and tepid tombstone inscribed with those oh so precious words, "At least he tried." At least he tries.